5:45 on the clock, and welcome back to 13 on your side. We are still looking at a high risk for severe weather as we head into the late evening hours and into the early overnight time frame. This will come with strong damaging wind and the potential for tornadoes in the forecast tonight. 6 p.m. is when I want you to make sure you're weather aware, you're back in your safe location, you're home, and preparing for the storms. By 8 to 9 o'clock, they'll arrive to the lakeshore's edge and then continue to push across West Michigan from there. If we do see tornadoes form, they will likely be on the stronger side. The potential for EF2 or stronger tornadoes can't be ruled out tonight. So we really need to make sure we've got our alerts turned on loud. We have a plan in place depending on where you're going to be, knowing your shelter location, and then of course having multiple means, especially with many people still out of power from yesterday's storms, to receive those critical weather alerts. Weather ball right now is blinking green. We have no change foreseen to the heat and humidity that's going to fuel these storms. This news sponsored by Countryside Greenhouse. Right now on radar, we've got widespread rain. This is moving out, and we're going to have a long period of time of clear skies before that main band of storms arrives to West Michigan. And so all of this time span is when we're going to be able to re-energize our atmosphere, fuel the potential for these storms in our atmosphere. Hour by hour forecast is going to feature exactly that. That first batch of storms right now that sits over Omaha, Nebraska, likely going to fall apart. And then here comes the main cluster in line of storms crossing Lake Michigan and still likely holding its form and strength. There's the potential for supercells within this system as it moves through our forecast region and then clears out of here by midnight. By the time we reach Friday afternoon, we will be back underneath completely sunny skies and a much more comfortable atmosphere. But until then, we need to make sure we're weather aware. Our highest risk still remains the potential for 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts. All of the power outages that we received, all of the tree damage that we saw last night, those were only 60+ mile per hour winds. So just add another 10 miles per hour to that, and that's what we could potentially experience tonight. Tornadic activity cannot be ruled out. And again, if we do see those form into tornado mode or like kind of start to take on that tornadic environment, chances are they will become strong. As for our temperatures, they are currently sitting in the mid to upper 60s. Our dew points are also in the mid 60s right now. They are expected to build back into the low 70s dew point wise and temperature wise into the mid 80s. That takes our heat index values back into the low to mid 90s today, a little bit warmer than what model guidance is showing. As we head into the Friday afternoon hours, though, we have a much cooler temperature profile at play and our dew points begin to drop off. Once we get behind this system and our dew points fall back into the 50s, they look to stay there with a really dry atmosphere at play all the way through early next week. So today's kind of our last really gross, muggy day. The rest of your 13 on your side 7-day forecast, we do have some chances for showers behind this system, but they're pretty minimal and the risk is low. We're going to see just mainly run-of-the-mill rainfall overnight Saturday and into early Sunday morning, and then back to drier and cooler temperatures only in the low 70s by early next week.